Hello and welcome to a new episode of Wave Work Stress Goodbye with me, Luke Richardson. This episode is called What's Really Creating Your Experience at Work? Now, before we go into this one, I just want to get out there that I intend to go quite deep on this episode. Very deep, very spiritual. And I just want to recommend that if you're currently listening to this with a lot of head clutter, I recommend you hit pause right now and come back to a better time for you when your head is a lot more quieter. Because I feel that if you're listening to this with a lot of jargon going on within your own mind, you'll miss an insight that could be the difference between you getting this and not getting it. So it's really important that you're in a good headspace before you listen to this one. Now, if you listen to this recording and get to the end and think, "Oh, crikey, I wasn't in the headspace that I thought I was," like Luke just said, well, just simply play the episode back again at your own convenience. Because I guarantee that if you don't hear something the first time, you'll probably get it the second time. And I'm going to pause now for 2 to 3 seconds to give you a chance to pause it and come back, and then I'll crack on. Okay, so starting now. Are you ready? Are you comfortable? Great. Let's begin. So, excuse me. I've had a lot of insights over the last week or two, very deep insights into how life's really working for all of us, all human beings. And I don't know where it's come from. I don't know if it's because I'm doing a lot of content on Instagram, whether it's because I'm doing these podcasts for you guys. I'm interviewing a lot of guests at the minute for this podcast, and I'd say 24, 48 hours after I've done the recordings, I'm on this, high, and I don't ever want to leave that place. And naturally, I do leave that place because I'm a human being just like you are, but I'm pulling back to that place a lot more quickly and a lot more sooner, and the place I don't want to be, the duration of that lasts a lot longer with me deepening my own grounding and understanding. So this is great for me because the more I do this, the more grounded I get, and I hope I'm making you more grounded as well as a listener. So I've come to realise I've done an Instagram post on this as well. So feel free to check out my Instagram page, which I'll put in the comment section. You can find a shorter snippet of this on there as I'm walking back from taking the kids to school. But there's 3 things that I can know for sure that are going on and see as truth. Number 1, things are happening in the outside world. Agree? So in your own world, in your own local world, in your village or in your town or in your city, there is things going on, whether that's birds tweeting in the sky, cars driving past your house or apartment, and ultimately things are going on in your workplace. So if you're going to work, you're working away, you look around and things are going on. People are emailing, people are tapping away at their keyboards, they're going for lunch, they're doing meetings on Zoom and Teams. Things are happening, aren't they, in the outside world? Because that's number 1. We agree on that. Things are happening in the outside world. Number 2, we experience what's going on in the outside world through our own perception, through our own thoughts, through our own thinking. So you can't take in what's happening in number 1 without number 2. You can't see that life happening without number 2 happening for you through thinking, through thoughts. That's not just for you and me. That's for every human being on planet Earth. No matter what your circumstances, no matter what outer circumstances you've got going on or what anyone's got going on, you can only perceive that life through thinking. Okay, so let's recap. We've done number 1, things are happening in the outside world, and number 2, we can only perceive, we can only have an experience of those outside things via the principle of thought, through thinking. And that amplifies life for us. That makes life feel alive for us. So when something feels uncomfortable, it's not a bad thing. That's your system working perfectly to give you an experience of life. Same with the good stuff, but we don't really worry about the good stuff as much, do we? Because it feels so good. Yeah. You don't see anyone coming up to someone, do you, and going, "Oh, I'm having a really good feeling recently about all my life. Like, can you help me out with that? Can you do something about it?" No, it's always the opposite, isn't it? I don't feel very good. Can you help me? It's that kind of thing. That's why you listen to this podcast, right? To hopefully get some relief for your anxiety and stress from your life or your workplace. Okay, so 1 and 2 are covered. Number 3. This is the very deep one. This is the one that really gets the wheels oiled for us as human beings. So it's not. It sounds controversial, but it's not, because it's truth. And the only reason people don't see it as truth is because, 1, we can't see it because of 1 and 2 in the way, and 3, we tend as human beings to blame our circumstances for the way we think and feel. So number 3, there is something spiritual, something invisible, something profound, something that's responsible for everything going on backstage behind the scenes. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is there's something out there. I've got a load of cuts on my hands because of the cold weather in the UK. So if you're in a sunnier place in the world, I'm not jealous. I've got a load of cuts on my hands that I've developed from the UK cold. Now, I'm not freaking out about that, because I understand that when the weather gets warmer later in the year, when the spiritual nature of life happens later in the year, when that spiritual nature of life changes the seasons to a warmer British season, the spiritualness of life will do that automatically without me thinking about it. It'll make the atmosphere warmer, and in turn, the spiritual nature of life will also heal the cuts on my hands. Both of those things happening without me having to think really hard about it. I could think really hard about it. I could think hard about that until I'm blue in the face. But it won't make a damn difference. Life doesn't care whether I do that or not. It's going to happen. The British season is going to turn to spring. It's going to turn to summer. And then it's not going to care if I don't like it going back to autumn or winter again either. It's going to happen. Same with the cuts on my hands. They're going to heal, which is why I'm not freaking out about them. They're going to heal. And it's the same with day to night, night to day, the weather changing, the branches going on, the leaves and are growing on branches on trees. That number 3, that spiritualness that works behind the scenes, is running the show, essentially. And it's the same for gravity as well. Gravity doesn't care if you believe in it or not. It's there. It's going to happen. So if you're hanging off a cliff, I hope not, but if you're hanging off a ledge, say in the Grand Canyon or something, and there's a big drop beneath you, life won't care if you let go and you think that you might just float in the air. It's going to drop you. And that spiritualness is always there. It's always there. So let's just recap everything, shall we? So number 1, things are always going to happen in the outside world, and those things are neutral things. But we see those neutral things as good and bad based on how we experience them in number 2. And when you understand you've got number 3 working for you, that you've got this blank canvas to tap into all the time, this space, then life will change for you, big style, I guarantee it, if you can just open your eyes to see it. Now, let's just take a couple of minutes to talk about you. So this resonates more with the title, where your experience of work comes from. So you're back at work now, I presume, after the Christmas break, because we're in the second week of January going into the third week. So think about your own personal experience this week. So think about your own week at at work. It doesn't have to be at work. It can be if you've had a week off, for example, but it's not been a great week. You can use that as well. It works for everything. This understanding, it's not just a work thing. This is real truth for how life works. I just use this truth to help you have an easy time at work and in your life. So think about your own situation this week at work. Think about your number ones. You had things happening, didn't you? You went to work, things happened. You went there, you went home, you had your evening meal, you talked to your spouse told you some good and something about their day, good and bad, what you perceived from number two. Things happened in your week. And that was all neutral. Now, you can only see and think and feel all of that stuff from number one with number two through your thinking. And that thinking in number two made it personal and real for you. It brought it to life, it amplified it. Now, you might have been creating a lot of stress from the principle of thought from section number two. But it's not real. It's only real because you created it and you bought into it. With me so far? Let's move on to your personal experience bringing number three into it. So, if you're listening to this podcast right now, after your week at work, I presume you're alive and conscious. That's where number three comes in. It's still beating your heart. It's still making your days day and night. It's still changing the weather. It's still changing the seasons for you. Despite what's gone on in number one and number two, it's doing all that, right? It's keeping you alive. It's deep, isn't it? Can you see why I told you not to listen to this until you were in a decent place in your mind? Because if you were full of jargon, if you were full of headspace, you'd have missed it. Which is why I recommend that if you have listened to this and didn't quite catch it, because you might not have been quite there when you hit the play button, then it's only another 15 minutes or so. Play the episode again and see if you can hear something a bit differently. Now, I think we can end beautifully there. Because what I've just said, really ties into the title, where your experience of work really comes from. Because it's not coming from the outside world, the things happening from number one, it's coming from number two. How you perceive it, how you create it, how you buy into it, how you make your bed with it. I don't mean to sound so harsh with that, but it's true. I'm guilty of it too. We create it and get our hands dirty with it and wonder how we got there. And we instantly got seduced into it. And number three bails you out every time because it's still there. That spiritual nature, that invisibleness you can't see, is there behind the scenes working for you. It was working 100 years ago for those people. It was working 200 years ago for those people. It's working now, and it's working 100 to 200 years in the future for people. Doesn't matter what AI is coming in, what the future holds with artificial intelligence, the world spiritually works the way it does. Hope that really helps you. If you're enjoying these podcasts, I've got more. I've got some interview ones you can enjoy. I've got an interview one coming up soon with a lady called Kate next week. Tune into that. That's going to be a really good one. She's got an incredible story to tell to the audience. I'm really looking forward to that. Really excited about doing that with her. Yeah, I'll leave it there. So yeah, as I say, listen to this again if you want to hear it from a different perspective. Maybe you didn't quite catch it the first time round. So listen to this episode as often as you like, because I guarantee you'll hear it a lot differently. Take care, guys. I'll see you on the next podcast recording. Bye bye.